Jared.
Yes, my friend.
Last week on the Game Over Greggy show, I went out on a limb.
All right.
And I said something that angered a lot of people.
Uh-oh.
Set the world on fire.
Really?
Broccoli, that shit's good. Today I have a similar follow-up.
All right, here we go.
Music. That shit's good.
I'm with you.
See, no, we do these music conversations every so often here. We one of the famous topics we did here was where we rated 5 different things: video games, reading, music, something, two other things.
Great.
Music was way down there.
Movies and TV.
Music was way down there for me. We've done music recommendations before. I'm like, I don't know. Weezer. Going to see Weezer Sunday. Very excited. Post flying in from Chicago. That's all well and good. But a few months ago now, Jared Petty, my Apple Music, I was doing that, the free trial.
Yeah.
And it stopped.
Okay.
And I was like, fuck. And I'm like, I don't want to give you... Apple Music was fine, but I know Colin's always talking about Spotify.
Yeah.
So I joined up with the Spotify.
Okay.
Ooh.
Started using that service. You're booing Spotify?
Yeah, I'm not a Spotify fan. We've been through this. Keep going.
Join up with the Spotify. Way more impressed with it than I am the Apple Music because it's just beaming. It's my phone, it's my iPad, it's the computer, it's the PS4. I turn on one of them. It's like, oh, you're already listening on another one. Do you want to listen here? I'm like, yes or no, maybe. I don't know. It depends on what it is.
Whatever you want.
However, I've been getting around with this music now, and I've noticed today it is now a crucial part of my day. When before it never was. That I like music here and there. I had a song.
I'm so glad to hear that.
I buy all the Nashville stuff because I want to support the TV show Nashville. CMT, what up? Thank you for your help. Support Nashville. I buy all the albums for that. I have all my Weezer stuff. I have my Taylor Swift stuff. So it used to be I'd get on the planes or do whatever. I walked to the grocery store. I listened to what I had on my iPod, and it was great. Okay, good.
Right.
But now with this Spotify thing, I'm getting this Lana Del Rey girl I've never heard of. She had a song about video games.
Interesting.
Put her in. I'm like, hell.
It's not about video games. It's called video games.
Well,
I'll give you
it's
that.
about her fucking some guy that plays video
Lana
games.
Del Rey is
just,
fan-fucking-tastic.
I was listening to that with somebody else the other day, and I was like, are all her songs like this? Because I had no idea what they were. And no, they are kind of. They're all that, like, I thought it was like somebody doing like a bassy thing.
Each album has a different vibe, a different kind of subgenre to it.
Right.
I really like her a lot. A lot of people dislike her because she's kind of mainstream for being that kind of singer-songwriter type.
Sure.
I think that's rubbish. She's amazing. I love her style and her zero fucks given attitude that is really clear from her music.
Okay.
And I'm a big fan of Born to Die? Born to Die. Yeah, that album.
The video game's off that.
Yeah, exactly. That album's so good. It kind of has a nice hip hop vibe without the rap to it in terms of the production of the beats and the instrumentals. It has a nice orchestral feel that I really appreciate. Her newest album, or Ultra Violence, and then she had one after that. Both of those are a bit more of the alt rock-y feeling.
Sure.
I'm a little less into those, but having said that, it's still fantastic, and she is still amazing. And I've never heard a song from her that I dislike.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's fine. I don't care. I like Lana Del Rey.
Yeah.
Del Rey in the video game song. I listened to some other stuff. It didn't make it to my list. That's how I like you. I listen to this, and then if I hit the little plus button, you get added to my
Day
song.
at the Races is my song.
That's the jam from Lana Del Rey?
Off to the Races. Off to the Races.
Off to the Races?
Day at the Races is
I'll look into it for you. Is it off Born to Die?
Yeah, track 2.
Okay, I'll look into it for you. So you're getting to some of my things here. But so I want to know about your rituals with music. Because now what I find, here's what I do every day. And it's going to sound dumb. I don't care. It's my ritual and I like it a lot. I wake up. I walk the dog, feed the dog because he sucks. Usually sit around till 9:15, 10:45, whenever Kevin decides to fucking poof out of the middle of the air so I can buzz him in the goddamn house. What? It's true. Am I wrong? I can't shower till you get to the house. Am I wrong? Say something. You're going to talk shit for a second and you realize it's true, didn't you? Got you dead to rights, boy. Anyways, do whatever it is I have to do. But when it's time to shower, I'll go or brush my teeth, go in there and all that stuff. I go in there with the iPad because I bought one of these waterproof speakers back when I was down this thing. Put it up, piece of garbage. I had to be like really close to it for the Bluetooth. Now, granted, I bought the $20 version. Had to be close to the thing or whatever to play off my iPhone, and it finally just broke or whatever. We used to use it for calls. Remember, Tim, you and I would go take calls, and I didn't like it at all. And then I got another one at VidCon. I can't even figure out how to connect the goddamn thing because I'm apparently 75 years old. So I was like, whatever. But I noticed when I take the iPad in there, speakers on the iPad are really good. And if I put it in the corner, next to my sink, it bounces off all the walls and it's really loud and it's perfect. And I like it a lot. So I go in there, I put on either my songs, maybe one of these, I like the acoustic coffee house playlist or whatever. There's a lot of good playlists where I just find new music, put a pin in that one. Put it in the corner, play, do all this stuff, right? But then I turn off all lights and I light a candle and I shower by candlelight. and I like it a lot. Not for the romance of it, which is very romantic, don't get me wrong, but it's like I'm in a spa, I'm listening to good tunes in there, I'm washing up.
And this is morning candles. This isn't evening candles.
No.
This is starting the day
starting
candles.
the day. I'm like, let's get into a therapeutic space here.
And that's important because your bathroom, no window, right? Like,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I shut the door.
So it's just, you close up, you are in the darkness, it's you, it's a candle, it's beautiful music,
Yeah.
it's the rush of the water. You got that little soapy lather all over you. Do you ever like scrub along with the rhythm?
No.
Do you sing along?
If it's a good song, yeah.
It's a good song? What's the last song you sang along with?
Oh, I've sing along with it. I mean, if I know the song, I'm singing along.
You're
with
singing
it,
along.
probably.
Okay, so it's a. Do you ever change the music in the shower? Do you ever get angry, get out of the shower, and change the track?
No, that's not, because it's over on the other side there in the corner, tucked away. And again, usually, if it's playing off one of the playlists, it's going to be gone soon enough. And if it's in my song file, it's usually good.
See, that's one of the keys to a long and successful marriage is work out the mutual music rules early. I've learned because you're on a road trip, you got the playlist there on your phone, or you've got it, however you've got it arranged, or even if it's just the radio stations, if you're traveling on a long trip. No, being able to be with somebody who it syncs up with you musically, not just in the type of music you listen to, but important factors like, hey, do you skip ahead in the middle of songs you don't like? Do you keep doing that? Do you change the station every time a new song comes up? Are you somebody that has a playlist prepared and is compatible with that idea? Or do you just want to put it on random and jump around? These are the burning questions you need to work out before you agree to spend the rest of your life with someone. Because if you don't, you will regret it.
And you stumble on something. This is when I knew, ladies and gentlemen, that I had gone from a Spotify Padawan to a Spotify Sith Lord, and I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Wow.
Jedi, Trekkie.
Yeah.
I went to
the Sith don't have Padawan.
I'm sorry, Padawan to a red shirt on the Enterprise. I knew this
That's
when
even more wrong.
I woke up one day and I was in a mood, and I wanted music to fit that mood, and I made a playlist to go run errands. And I was like, I got it. Spotify, red shirt.
How do you feel about that, Colin?
Making playlists.
How can you put that into words?
Making fucking playlists because I'm all set. I know what I want. I wasn't going to go into because sometimes it doesn't work, Kevin, where you have the bucket of all the songs I like.
Yeah.
And sometimes I want to shower by that. Sure, whatever comes on, comes on. But sometimes, Kevin, I'm in a motherfucking mood.
Yep.
And I didn't, for a while, I was like, well, I guess I skip, but how do I skip in the shower? What? And then I was like, wait, you can make playlists on Spotify. And I did it. I mean, I was like, I make 11 songs, ran my errands all around the neighborhood before they burned out. C'est magnifique. So what I want to know is your music ritual, if you have one. And then the follow-up question is, and we can go around and after the ritual, I want to know how you discover music. Because these stations, what was I listening to today? I guess I was listening on my iPhone, so it's not sunk up here. But I was on one of these stations I hadn't listened to today, right? And I noticed, it's acoustic, it's acoustic pop. Acoustic pop. And I just was adding songs left and right. I'm like, all these are good. I'm like, maybe I should hang out on the acoustic pop more. Maybe I'll shower by acoustic pop tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
liven it up.
Jared Petty, how do you discover music?
Okay, I discover music, I think, 3 different ways. The first way I discover music is I'm a internet radio type service listener. I have a finely tuned, in this case, Pandora, which is what I use a lot of the time. And I have my Pandora channels, which are only a few, but they are lovingly crafted into preferential, just these beautiful heaven dreams of exactly the music I want to hear at any moment. And this is key for me, the occasional song that I don't like. And I think it's very important that something pop in that jars me out and makes me go, wait a minute, I need to make a value assessment of that. And I love that. So one of my discoveries comes through new songs coming in through You Might Like. So some of it's algorithmic and just being fed music that I create channels that are tailor-made, but not too tailor-made. I try to keep the parameters a little bit open, so I keep getting new kinds of things. And when I realize I'm hearing the same songs over and over and over, that's when I switch and create a new channel, and I start the crafting process over again, usually with my mood, and I'll just listen to that channel, and then I'll switch back around and rotate through. That's one way of discovering. The second way I like to discover music is through this, what you and Tim just did. Social interaction with people, talking with people about the music you love. It's such a great way, because music is something that if there's real magic in the universe, it's music. It does things to us that it emotionally transforms us in ways that no other force outside of narcotics I can do. I mean, music can make you break down and weep. Music can make you furious and angry. I have been at concerts where I have watched acts of gratuitous violence played out, I think largely because of hours and hours of screaming music and the mood that built in the people around. And I have seen people transformed. Literally, their lives changed in moments that were largely influenced by the music going on around them. In that case, I'm thinking in terms of a spiritual setting, things that have happened in churches where music is a very important part of what happens, even though, frankly, a lot of Christian music sucks. So I think that engagement, that testimony, people telling you about or playing things for you. Oh my gosh, that's talking about music is at least as fun as music. That's why Rolling Stone existed, or it exists. That's why you have this whole culture built around it. That's why MTV at one point was around. And to this day, that's why you have social structures built on the internet around sharing music and the channels where people listen to it. So I love that. That's the second way of discovery, through human interaction. And the third way, because I am an old man, is album covers. I still buy albums. I really do. I actually buy CDs on occasion. I am not cool. I do not have a record player that plays the vinyl. I don't have anything that plays vinyl. I grew up around vinyl. My parents had a huge record collection. My love for the fidelity of vinyl extends not to the sound and the ritual of playing the whole album, but to the art. I adore album art. I just love it. And records had that huge, beautiful album art. And it's so great. So CDs have these miniaturized versions of it. And just because I still enjoy the art that goes into an album, even though I realize albums are almost an antiquated form of expression at this point. They are a boutique item. It's all about singles and selling concert tickets now. That's how you do it. But I still love them. And so I will occasionally buy an album just because I see a picture on the internet that I think is really cool of an album. I'll go album hunting. I'll go searching through various websites and then I'll read and be like, oh, this sounds like the kind of thing I might be interested in. And I will just grab music off that. Sometimes I'll buy a sample track, maybe one.
Sure. And
I do purchase music. I'm not not so into the just grabbing music from everywhere. I like to buy music when the opportunity arises. And so I'll go out and buy that new music and buy that new track. And if I like it, I'll try to buy the album.
See, that's what I'd been doing for a while, where when on the occasional I'd be in a car or something, or somebody else would play a song, or I'd hear a song and be like, that's really good. And then I'd go on iTunes and buy the album or whatever.
Yeah,
because I was trying to for a while figure out how to get new music into my library, because it was one of those things where I noticed I was just listening to the same stuff over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's a fun way to do it. And then what's great when they meet up. I have to give a shout out for a second to Shooter Jennings, one of my absolute favorite contemporary musicians. I discovered him, of all places, through satellite radio. I used to work on the road before this job. I drove sometimes 13, 14 hours a day for work. I repaired IT equipment at 911 centers, and I would listen to a lot of satellite radio, which introduced me to new things constantly. I discovered Shooter through that. Man, the album cover on his most recent album is a luck dragon, like from the Neverending Story, holding an M16 and wearing sunglasses.
Yeah,
and it's. I want that. I want a mural of that in my living room. But also, Shooter makes good music. You should all check out Shooter Jennings.
Do you have a ritual for music when I say that?
Yeah, I do.
What do you think when you listen to music? When I say, how do you listen to music?
Music is an integral. Without music, I don't want to live. I listen to music for hours sometimes at work. When I'm writing, in particular, I listen to music constantly. I often listen to music in transit. I have long commutes to and from on the bus. I like to listen to music when I'm in the shower, but even more, I like to listen to music when I'm in the bath. I don't do the bath thing all that often, but you get the towel nice and clean, lay in there and soak and listen to great music. And I absolutely have a house cleaning music ritual. That's a very important one. But all of those pale in comparison to the most important one, which is the road trip music, which involves days of preparation beforehand as you prepare the perfect conglomeration of playlists for every situation and have them right there. The playlist is king. I used to love to make mixtapes, mix CDs back when that was a thing. I love crafting and forget this random stuff. I want them to come in just the right order so that you can have everything flow and jar and switch at just the right moment. You want to take that kind of slow, sad song and immediately follow up with something peppy or quirky or happy, and then follow that up with a little off the wall, then maybe a pop ballad, then maybe something a little more twangy and obscure. I love that. So that's the biggest ritual, preparing and listening to the playlist before the road trip.
Okay.
Yep. Going on a road trip tomorrow. Playlist.
Where are you going?
I'm going down to LA.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm going to Anaheim. My wife and I have never been to Disneyland.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So Yep.
You just made Tim's day.
You guys.
Well, I lived in Orlando for years, and so I've done Walt Disney World time after time after time after time after time. But it's our 15th anniversary, so we're going to Disneyland.
Doing it big.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
So excited.
Colin, how do you discover new music?
I mean, a lot of different ways. I always found it, I don't want to say it's strange, although it is. I want to say it's more alien to me when someone's like, I don't listen to music or I don't care about music. I'm like, are you kidding me?
How many people have you guys met?
A lot. Like
Really?
over the years, like a lot of people are like, I don't listen to music or I don't care. Or I just listen to the radio or I don't. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like,
I've only met one person in my entire life
my God.
that doesn't like music, and that's Kevin Coelho. Blows my mind.
Kevin, you don't like music?
He does not like me unless it's Queen. He does not like music.
Fucking love Queen.
I mean, it's a good choice. But so like I was really I was blessed as a kid to be grown up in a very musical household, and I was surrounded by music. My parents love music, and my siblings love music and play music, and to a degree, and everyone played an instrument at some point, and that was instilled in me when I started playing drums. So it's always been a really important part of my life, and I always discovered music in various ways. I think that's why I have an eclectic. I think I have like a profoundly eclectic taste in music, but I couldn't imagine it being any other way. I remember actually yesterday the Uber driver was like, do you want something, like, is this music okay? And I'm like, yeah, I kind of like want to listen to anything, to be honest. It's totally cool with me. So I feel like I discover music these days through Spotify. They have a lot of good discovery tools. I used to use Pandora back in the day to do the same thing. I'm also just lucky enough to have a lot of musician friends and a lot of friends that
Ramon.
a lot of friends that play music or are in music scenes or work at music companies or whatever, and often expose me to that as well. And since I'm pretty well known with our audience of being a huge music fan, a lot of people supply me with a lot of bands that I would have never discovered without them that I listen to now, like Hacktivist or Fair to Midland, and a few of these bands where I'm like, these are fucking really great bands that I would have never even known about because there's such a wealth of music out there. But to me, it goes beyond that because, music is a fundamental part of my life. I listen to music every day, and it's not something that I do passively. Like I have to sit down and listen to it, and like really like listen to the music. I get distracted by it all the time when I'm supposed to be doing other things because I love it so much. And if it was up to me, like if someone was like, you can only play video games or listen to music, I'd be like, I'd choose music 100 out of 100 times. Like it would be there would be not even I wouldn't even think about it.
So what's your ritual then? You listen to it every day and you have to focus on it.
Yeah, I sometimes when I'm in bed, I just take my headphones and I listen to music for like an hour before I even get out. Or I'll get up and pee, as I often do, and then I'll lay down and listen to music. Or when I don't really work out too much, but I'd always work out and listen to music, and clean and listen to music, or do work and listen to music, or just like chill and listen to music. Sometimes I'm just like, I really just want to listen to that record, or I really just want to listen to this song. And what I find myself, especially with albums and bands that I'm really familiar with for many years sometimes, is that I'm like, I'm really in the mood for this record. And I'll listen to that record for a week, like over and over and over again, because it's so good, and I'll find new layers in it and new quirks, and I'll realize that the song that I kind of always used to think was bad or like that was okay or was kind of filler track is actually one of the great tracks on the album. And the next year I'll listen to that album really closely again and realize, oh no, I was right the first time. Music's like a dynamic and important thing. It's so fucking important, and music is primal as hell too. It's in us. Our want for rhythm and organization and all that kind of stuff, I think, happens is largely played out through music. So, which is why things that are off, 4/4 measure or whatever is often jarring for people. But I discover it in a lot of different ways. My rituals are. I'm so happy to hear that you are listening to more music. I think Spotify is a fantastic service. Shockingly good service. I would pay $50 a month for Spotify.
Yeah, you always say that.
It's incredible. The quality's great, and you can make the quality like really what you want it to be. And the selection is fantastic. Like there's only a few things that I really want that are missing, and they're slowly whittling it down. Like when they got Pink Floyd and the Beatles, I was like, yes, this was like half of the fucking equation for me. The only thing they're missing now is like
Taylor Swift.
I'd like to listen to Tool, and I'd like to listen to De La Soul, and they're not there. And that's basically the only bands I can think of that I really give a fuck about.
This is the first moment I've thought of Tool in 20 years, is when you said that.
Yeah, Tool has. I mean, I'm not a huge Tool fan. I'm a Danny Carey fan. I love Danny Carey, but was a fantastic drummer. But so what I like about Spotify too, so the Police are one of my favorite bands, right? I love the Police, and sometimes I'm in the mood for a record, so I'll put on Zenyatta Mandata or Synchronicity or something. But then sometimes I just want to listen to like, my own playlist of the Police, which is an option. And sometimes I just want to go to like the best of the Police and listen to the singles. And so like there's all those options there as well. There's just it's such a far cry from how we grew up. I used to buy tapes. The first tape I ever bought was MC Hammer.
Nice.
Whoa.
And the first song I ever remember hearing was Wildest Dreams by Moody Blues, which is it's a well-known Moody Blues song, but well after they were popular.
Yeah.
I remember sitting in the back of my mom's Crown Victoria when they had just bought it. I was like 2 or 3 years old. I remember like, this song is awesome. And ever since then, I've just been infected with it. I used to buy so much music, dude, like a lot of tapes and then a ton of CDs. And I'm so glad we don't live in that world anymore, but I still want musicians to like get their money, which is why I'm like, Spotify should be and will be, I think, way more expensive than it should be.
Hopefully there'll be tiers, right, to kick it back to other people. Tim, what's your music ritual?
My ritual, it's kind of similar to Colin's to an extent in that it's a very active experience. When I listen to music, I'm listening to music. That's it. I can't work while listening to music. That's so foreign to me, and it's not even to say that it's distracting. It's like that's not even right. Like music to me it's the focus.
Yeah.
The idea of multitasking, doing something while music is playing, is just beyond me. I'm not even capable of it. Like I really like to just lay on my bed, put some headphones on, and listen to an album front to back. And that it's more than just listening to it. It's listening to it and then thinking about it after, and then listening to it again based on the thoughts that I had the first time, and like kind of like growing and experiencing it. And like I'm really weird when it comes to music and the way I do. I think ritual is actually a very apt thing to discuss for me, because my ritual with music is discovering an artist, and that usually comes from the internet somehow, it usually comes from another one of my loves. The internet being one of them, video games being another, things like that, right? Where to this day, I still go on message boards to find music. Like I read what people are talking about, what people like, what people don't like, and go from there and find people that have similar tastes to me. That leads to an artist I like. When I find the artist I like, then I'm like, all right, if I like them, people that like them, who do they like? And I kind of go from there. Once I find that artist, I will just go down the rabbit hole of, if there's a song I like, find the album I like, go from there. But I like to buy it, actually ripping the CD, that's the whole process to me. So that's part of the ritual, is actually physically ripping the CD. And I feel like there's something about getting intimately familiar with how many tracks are on this album. You know, naming it, like renaming all the files to make sure they're all named correctly. Like there's something about that learning process of understanding why tracks are ordered the way that they are, and like thinking of the music as really an art form and as something that has a lot of thought put into it instead of just on a song by song basis. You brought up the album art earlier and being attracted to album art and being like, oh, I'm sold. I think that's such a simple and brilliant thing, because if you're attracted to it, chances are somebody put a lot of thought into that. And more often than not, I appreciate albums as opposed to singles. And I think that people that have artwork that is thought out is a sign of a good album, or is at least a sign of an album that was thought of and conceived as an album.
Sure.
And if they put that much time into it and I enjoy them enough, I want to give them the time and respect to understand what they're trying to do with that piece of art, you know? And sometimes you don't get it. Sometimes you do. And I feel like that is the thing that's my ritual with the music. I feel like I would rather be intimately familiar with a few artists than just kind of familiar with a whole bunch of them.
Interesting.
And it's funny for me because I'm Mr. Millennial and I'm Mr. Downloading shit and whatever. And that's not to say I don't have thousands of songs on my computer, you know?
Yeah.
But I am a big fan of not using playlists. I like having all of my music on my phone, and I like curating it as I'm going, what I'm feeling like, looking through my, when I look at my iPhone, I go to my music tab or whatever, and I scroll, the way that I go from song to song is sort by album. So that I think says a lot about me, is I'm always looking for the album and bouncing back and forth that way. It's not by artist. It's not by song. And sometimes when I'm not feeling anything specific, I'll do shuffle. But then inevitably within 5 songs, I'll find something that leads me back to album and go from there. So
that's really cool, Tim.
Yeah, it's really weird, but I definitely, music's very special to me, and it's something that I make time for in my life more so than anything else, really, besides what I do in work and all that stuff that I love. Like, I make time for specific video games. You know, I make time for movies, but when albums are coming out, I make time for that. I really am like, I'm thinking about that stuff and thinking about the experience I'm going to have with certain albums in a way that is kind of creepy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you hear that? Sounds like Big Dog Kevin's about to bark. What you got for me?
You got me laughing. Being in the car with him while he listens to music fucking sucks.
Yeah.
He changes the song every 15 seconds.
Yeah.
He like
Till
wants
he
to
finds
hear
the right one?
No. He wants to hear specific parts of the song and then he's out.
I mean, so to be fair, that is a very different random situation. The car, specifically with Kevin, is just like, it's a whole disaster. But that's because car rides and the road trips, that's where the playlist comes into play, where I'm totally down with that.
Yeah.
But music, the album experience with other people is way too hard for me to even try to comprehend because you can't share that experience with somebody else. Like the car ride is a single song world, and it is totally, you need to respect the other people in the car. I don't respect Kevin.
Oh.
So I've known him too long.
I know.
There's too much going on there. But usually with Kevin, I am showing him something in a song, which is why I'm trying to find specific parts.
Sure.
But if you ever notice, like, and might be that FedEx moment where I like break the glass shattering with you. The most annoying thing for me on the plane is I'll be sitting there and I'm just like, if I am on shuffle, I'm just bam, 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 next song.
I see you all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like, I can imagine to the people next to me, it's infuriating to see all that shit going on.
They
But
probably shouldn't be looking at your phone.
they shouldn't be.
Bunch of dicks.
Yeah. Fuck them dicks.
So like broccoli, music. This shit's good.
This shit's good.
This topic was brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a landing page, a beautiful gallery, a professional blog, or an online store, it's all included with your Squarespace website. Jared, would you like to bust out a phone? Did you get a phone yet?
I do have, my phone is busted. I have a busted phone.
Do you want to use mine to browse
So
the
the
internet?
phone I have an old beat up.
Sorry, I'm dealing
Cracked
with
screen phone.
an event here. That's why I was on.
Things happen. That's all right. That's all right. But no, I do in fact carry a phone now, but it's ancient and old and grungy.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about Squarespace.
All right, I'd like to hear about it.
Would you like to know why you should use it?
I'd love to know.
Number one, it's easy. Creating your website with Squarespace is a simple, intuitive process. You can add and arrange your content and features with the click of a mouse. It's also free for a custom domain. Squarespace makes adding a domain to your site simple. If you sign up for a year, you'll receive a custom domain for free for a year. Beautiful templates, design, a best-in-class online store with Squarespace award-winning templates, customizable settings, and more, all without a single plugin. They have seamless commerce tools, customer support all the time. I mean, it's 24/7, Jared. You can get somebody any time of the day if you need help.
Sounds pretty groovy.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
For your website. Not because it's so easy to use, though, you would never need help from anybody. Don't worry about it. Okay?
But it's there if you want it.
But if you needed it, it would be there. But you're not gonna because it's so easy and intuitive to use. And they got the seamless commerce tools we've been wondering about a lot. Anyways, start your free trial today at squarespace.com and enter the offer code KINDAFUNNY to save 10% off your first purchase. That's squarespace.com. KINDAFUNNY, all one word, for 10% off your first purchase.
Bam.